Hello everyone, welcome to Secret Spice. This is Casey and today we are gonna make a mutton biryani restaurant style. To make a dum biryani, there are three essential things we need to learn. 1. The marination. 2. Boiling the rice. 3. Making the dum biryani. If you have all these three things right, then you will make a perfect dum biryani. So let's go ahead and see the preparation. Okay, so I have here like 2 pounds of mutton dark light which I'm using for today's preparation. So let's go ahead and start adding one by one spices we need. So first I'll be adding some salt, some turmeric, I have over here chopped chilies. It's just to spice the marination. You can skip it if you have any problem with the spices or the spiciness. I'm also adding baking powder. Baking powder we essentially use to as a meat tenderizer. You can also use raw papaya paste. You can also get meat tenderizer powders in the market as well, or you can use baking powder. That's an optional. Okay, so I have over here the spices. I actually grinded them into a coarse, into a fine powder. If you see over here, I have it as a powder. I will show you how to make this powder and what I have used. So first let's add it. You can add like 1 tablespoon. So this is actually the main spice you guys need to make the real dum biryani and to get the flavor. Let's see what all I have added. So I added like 2 to 3 bay leaves, some half spoon of tofu, 1 cinnamon stick, 5 to 6 spots of ilachi or cardamom, 2 to 3 of anistar. You can see it. Let me open this one. Yeah, you can see this, the anistar. Yeah. Also used just take 4 to, not more, like 5 to 6 cloves. I also added like half teaspoon of pepper and mace. It's also called javitri. You can add like just 1 to 2 of them. So combine all of them into a whole thing and mix them or grind it into a coarse powder. So always use that powder while doing biryanis. So since we added it over here, let's go ahead and add the remaining things. I'm also adding coriander powder. Coriander powder you can add like 1 teaspoon, not more than that. I'm using chicken masala, bacha chicken masala. because I always like my marination to be spicy, my biryani to be spicy, so I'm adding it as an extra. You can add a different chicken masala if you have, but don't add too much. You can add like 1 teaspoon, nothing more than that, since we'll also be adding garam masala, so not too much. Okay, so I have over here a homemade garam masala which I have been using. If you have any Bacha garam masala or average garam masala, you can use that, or else I will post this recipe. You can try making this at home. Just add like 1 teaspoon. This will really help in enhancing the flavor. And I also have chopped coriander and mint leaves or pudina, and I'm adding them. This will actually improve the flavor. And always don't forget to add chili powder. Make it like I'm adding 1, I'm adding 2. Yeah, that will give me more. Okay, so I'm adding fried onions over here. I got it from a nearby store. Generally we get it over there. If you like to prepare it at home, that's really good. And so let's add this fried onions right now. You can add like half cup of it. It's just gonna enhance all the flavors and it gives you really good taste. Always like to add more. Okay, so let's add some oil into this. So for the oil, you can add the regular vegetable oil or sunflower oil, but the best thing is whenever you make your own fried onions, use the oil which you use for frying the onions. Yeah, that's really good actually, other than adding just a regular vegetable oil. But since I got it from the market, I'm actually using the regular vegetable oil right now. Okay, it's like I added 2 tablespoons. So once everything is added, now finally I need to add some curd. Make sure you don't add the excess water which it has. Make sure you add the thick part of it. Okay, now let's mix it. Make sure the curd is sufficient inside the marination. It should make sure it's like a gravy kind of a thing. It should be well coated to all the pieces. If you think you have added a lot of curd and it smells too much of curd, that's fine. You can even it by adding some garam masala, some chicken masala. So I just tasted it, everything looks fine. I think a bit of salt is needed. Always make sure to taste your marination a bit. Okay. And I just want to add like one more spoon. Like I always like it to be gravy, like the masalas, flavors and everything. So I just want to add it more. So once you complete the marination, when you taste it, make sure you can feel the spice of chili powder, the garam masala, and the flavor of the pudina and the coriander. If you have all these three things while you're tasting it, then your marination is good. If anything is missing, try to add them. That's fine. You can add them. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, if anything is missing right now. I can feel the fried onions. That's really good. I can feel the chili powder, but I still feel like some garam masala is missing. So I'll be adding the chicken masala over here. Even you can skip it and add garam masala if you like. And I'm also gonna add some of my spice powder which I made. Just try to make this at home, guys, please, because once you make it, you will know how the spices are working out, and you can feel the flavor right once you have all of them coarsely grinded into a fine powder. You will know why the outside restaurants spices and everything, they really taste good. The biryanis and everything, that's because they use some fresh ones. Okay, let's test it again. Okay, so everything is perfect right now, and I'm gonna leave this to marinate for about 3 to 4 hours, and once this is done, we will go for the next procedure. Okay guys, so I have my pan with some oil, like 2 tablespoons of oil and 1 tablespoon of ghee, and I'm heating it up. And it's been like 3 hours since I have marinated it, and we can cook it right now. So once the oil gets heated, add some amount of your spices you got. You can pick it up by hand. Just add 1 bay leaf, 1 oyster, 1 mace, 1 cinnamon stick, just 2 or 3 garlic pods, and some tofu. You don't need to add more, you can just add somewhat of it. I'm adding 1 more bay leaf. Okay, so I added like 4 ilachi pods, and okay, it's popping out. So if you see here, I have my homemade ginger garlic paste. Always try to make it home, since it gives a better taste. I'm adding 1 spoon of it. So once the raw smell goes off, just add few coriander and pudina leaves into it. Now currently the flame is on medium flame right now, but when you are cooking the meat, you need to make sure you are cooking on low flame. I'm just adding few, not more. Let me bring this a bit. Okay, now everything looks good. I'm adding our marinade mutton. So the remaining marinade, just add some water into it and mix it and drop it in. Don't add too much of water, That would do. Now mix it well. Okay guys, so I just turned off the flame right now. My meat is almost like 80 to 85% cooked. If you think there is excess amount of water, you can remove the lid and you can heat it up for a few more minutes. But this would be fine for my biryani. So I'm removing this to a different one. Okay, so now let's go ahead and prepare the rice. For this one, I already have soaked some rice with water and salt. I removed the water, I drained it, and I'm gonna heat up the vessel right now. And I'll be adding some ghee. You see, I just added like 1 teaspoon of ghee. That would be fine. Now remember, I have my spices over here. I'll be adding those over here right now. You can add all of them remaining. Like just for 1 minute, stir it around, not more than that. Okay, all the spices are getting roasted right now. That's good. Now I'm again gonna add my spice powder. Add half of it and we'll be adding the rest of them with the water. Okay, there you go. I'm also adding my mint leaves and now let's just add the water. Okay, we need more water. that would be sufficient. So whenever I used to go to restaurants, the only thing it confuses me is how the rice gets so flavorful. I mean, it really has a good taste, but when I tried it in the past, I never used to get it. Later on, I figured out what really they do. So let's see what's the procedure. I'm adding salt. You can add 1 tablespoon or 2 tablespoons until the water gets salty. Please don't forget to taste the water if the water is salty or not. And always while boiling the rice, make sure you have a flame on high. Okay, right now the water is salty, that's good. So in the olden days, people generally used to use crystal salt a lot because it's really used for enhancing the taste for curries and biryanis, but right now we are not getting it, but we do get it in if you go to some old spice shops or something like that. It's called crystal salt, and it's called kallupu in Telugu, I guess. So you can add that as well if you have, or I do have Ajinomoto. That's what currently restaurant people like Bawarchi, Paradise, they have been using it. So I'm just adding it like not more. It's like 1 teaspoon of it, and stir it up. Always, if you feel it's too salty, you can add some water, that's fine. Now squeeze 1 half lemon into this. Okay. Don't worry about so many spices inside that. We can remove it from the strainer once we boil it highly, and once all the water and the rice get soaked with all the spices, we can remove the extra bay leaves and spices. I will show you. Okay, so right now I'm adding the remaining part of my spice powder. Don't add too much, just a bit of it, like 1 teaspoon again. That would be fine. It will generally enhance the flavor of the rice as well. And also adding my biryani masala powder. Not too much, it's like half teaspoon. And if you have any sharp biryani masala or average biryani masala, you can also use that. It's an optional, and that would be fine. So let's wait until it gets really boiled up so we can add the rice. Okay guys, so the water is almost boiled, and I can feel all the spices, aroma and everything, but there is one real spice, and the secret spice that's missing, and I'm gonna add that into this, and that's nothing but kasuri methi. Yes, you need to add at least like 1 tablespoon of it. Just Add it into your hand, 1 tablespoon of it, and crush it. Just crush it and drop it inside. So this is actually the enhancer of the flavor for the biryani. So if you see, I have something, I'm just crushing it and adding it. That's it. Now stir properly. Wait for like 2 minutes so the kasuri methi also gets enhanced into the water. You can always smell the vapor it's coming out, so you could know, okay, how much spices I have added. So that's how we actually do it. Everything looks good, and I have my stove on high flame. Now I'm adding my rice. I soaked it for about half an hour with salt. Now stir it around. So after like 2 to 3 minutes, just grab a strainer and we will remove all the excess spices. Okay, right now I have my strainer over here and I'm removing all the excess amount of my spices which I don't need. Removing more of them. Okay, that should do it. Now let us wait until the rice starts dancing and comes to the top, so we can remove it from the strainer and drop it inside the mutton. You can see it's almost coming up. And I'm about to remove it. And drop it. Make sure to spread the rice evenly. And drop it off again. Just fill all the rice on top of it, and we will see how the dum is prepared. Okay, so I have spread my rice evenly. Now let's add some coloring. So I added turmeric and some milk inside that, which is really good for biryanis. It's better if we skip using synthetic coloring. Other than that, you can use this one, or you can also you can also go with coloring if you like, but the best thing is you better go with turmeric. Okay, now let's add some ghee. So generally in restaurants they use desi ghee like buffalo ghee, but I never had buffalo ghee over here, so I'm using cow ghee. And they also use dalda, but right now no one's using that. I'm also adding some fried onions to top it off. Just few more. There you go. And finally my mint leaves and coriander leaves. That will do it. Okay, so for making the dum right now, keep it on medium flame, and since we already cooked the meat, right, so I want you guys to medium flame for about 10 minutes, not more than that. So I'm using a foil to cover it up so the vapor doesn't go out of it. You can close it up if you want with a seal or something. I'm using a file, and I'll be closing up with this one like this. Yep. So I'm keeping it on a medium flame for about 10 minutes, not more than that. And once 10 minutes is done, we will transfer this into a pan, and we will also heat it up for another 20 minutes on slow flame, and I will show you that. Let's wait for 10 minutes. Okay guys, it's been about 10 minutes, so I turned off the flame and removed the vessel to a different flame, and I'm currently using a pan right now to do the dum. So just get a dosa pan or a big size pan if you have, so this one gets fit into it. So just drop it inside like this, and I'm keeping the pan on slow flame right now, and we will be cooking it in dum for 15 minutes, and that should do it. So let's wait for 15 minutes and see. Okay, so it's been like 10 minutes. I have turned off the flame, so let's open it up and see how it came out. Wow, look at that. Okay, now let's transfer some of it into the plate. Always try to remove it from one end. You can see the masala over here. It's going inside. See the masala. Just the right way. Just make sure you're cooking it the right way for the proper time, and you will get the best biryani. Just make sure you're not keeping it for heating it for more than 10 minutes or it's gonna burn. There you go. Alright guys, hope you liked my video. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Please don't forget to share, like and subscribe. Keep watching Secret Spice. Thank you.